Imagine it is 6 in the morning. Your alarm clock hasn't even thought about ringing yet, but you already feel a cold, wet nose being maneuvered with the precision of a surgeon directly into your left ear canal. While you are still trying to separate reality from your dreams, a tail is rhythmically thumping against your mattress like a small whip. Most dog owners think in this moment with a bit of annoyance. Sure, he is hungry and wants his breakfast. But as an animal psychologist, I have to disappoint you, or rather, delight you. It is not just the empty bowl that drives your dog out of his bed. It is a highly complex social protocol that goes far beyond breakfast. We often believe we have to laboriously learn our dog's language, when in fact they already speak fluent human, just on a level that we often overlook in the stress of everyday life. Today we are debunking the myths about bribery through treats and looking at what is really going on in that furry head. There are 7 things you can do daily to tell your dog on a biological level. I love you, and the best part? Most of them don't cost you a cent, just a little attention to the fascinating evolution snoring right at your feet. The first point on our list is conscious leaning. When you stand in the kitchen after a long day at work and your dog simply presses his full weight against your shin, that is no accident, and it is certainly not laziness. In canine psychology, we call this a contact lean reflex. He is marking you as his safe harbor. Biologically speaking, this physical pressure lowers the cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in both species. It is a silent agreement. I trust you with my balance, and I know you will hold me. This leads us to the second point, which often robs us of our night's rest, but is of invaluable evolutionary importance: resting or sleeping together. You probably know the scenario where you can hardly turn over at night because a 4-legged colleague is lying across your legs, loudly processing dreams of chasing rabbits. As annoying as that may be in the moment of insomnia, the background is fascinating. Dogs have an average body temperature of about 38 to 39 degrees Celsius. In the wild, sleeping together in a pack was a vital survival strategy to maintain body heat and save precious energy. When your dog seeks your proximity on the bed or the sofa, he is following an ancient instinct of vigilance during sleep. Since dogs have a much lighter sleep than humans and their internal clock reacts with high sensitivity to the smallest noises, he takes on the role of your personal security system in this moment. He trusts you to protect him while simultaneously keeping his ears open for you. In cognitive studies, it has been found that dogs who sleep in close physical contact with their owners can develop a synchronized heart rate. This is no coincidence, but a highly complex adaptation to your rhythm. So, the next time he rolls himself exactly where your feet should be, remember, he is currently giving you his highest form of biological security and officially declaring your bedroom the safest place in the world. Thirdly, we come to a gesture that is often misunderstood: deep, almost hypnotic eye contact. You surely know the feeling when you are sitting comfortably on the couch and suddenly realize you are being watched. Your dog is staring at you, eyes wide, perhaps with his forehead slightly wrinkled. In the world of wolves, this would be an aggressive threat, a duel of willpower. But in our dogs, evolution has taken a brilliant detour. Dogs have developed a special muscle, the levator anguli oculi medialis, which their wild ancestors do not possess. This tiny muscle allows them to raise their inner eyebrows, triggering the famous baby schema. We melt away, and the dog instinctively receives our care. But it is more than just manipulation. When you return your dog's gaze without appearing stiff or threatening, something magical happens in both of your brains. An oxytocin feedback loop. It is the exact same mechanism that strengthens the bond between parents and newborns. Furthermore, cognitive studies show the so-called left gaze bias. When dogs look at us, they first look at the right side of our face because that is where our emotions are most clearly readable. So he isn't scanning you for crumbs. He is reading your face like an open book to make sure you are okay. If you consciously hold this gaze daily for a few seconds and perhaps quietly whisper his name, you are giving him a neuronal confirmation that works more powerfully than any stake. It is the assurance: I see you, I understand you, and you belong with me. The fourth aspect is daily, targeted touch and grooming, which goes far beyond a quick scratch behind the ears. Dogs possess specialized scent glands in various parts of their body, particularly on their paws and in the facial area. When you take the time to gently brush your dog or give him a small massage at the temples, it is a form of social communication for him that is deeply rooted in his pack instincts. In nature, mutual grooming serves not only hygiene, but the consolidation of social hierarchy and cohesion. While you brush him, you absorb his pheromones and simultaneously leave your own scent on him. This creates a shared scent identity, a kind of invisible family crest. Technically speaking, you are stimulating the animal's parasympathetic nervous system, which leads to deep relaxation. It is that moment when the eyes become heavy, the lower jaw gets a bit loose, and the tail only wags very slowly and contentedly. It is a confirmation of his place in your life, a daily reassurance that he belongs and is valued. These 5 minutes of conscious grooming are more important to a dog than a 2-hour walk where you only look at your phone. Fifth is collective play as a cognitive challenge. It's not just about throwing a ball until the dog collapses from exhaustion. It's about solving problems together. If you invest 5 minutes daily to do small search games with him or teach him a new trick, you show him that you respect his brain. This boosts his self-confidence immensely. A dog that works together with his human feels useful, and a useful pack member is a happy pack member. Pause for a moment now, because what I'm about to tell you next will change the way you look at your dog forever. We tend to believe that we are the ones who set the tone and make the rules, but in truth, dogs are the absolute masters of emotional espionage and acoustic analysis. This brings us to the 6th point, the grand monologue, or what I like to call the fluffiest therapy session in the world. We all do it. We come home and tell our dog in a pitch 2 octaves higher than our normal voice about our terrible boss, the traffic on the highway, or the outrageous utility bill. And what does the dog do? He tilts his head, raises his eyebrows, and looks at us as if he were currently pondering a complex solution for world peace, or at least for your mood. Scientifically speaking, this is absolutely fascinating. Dogs possess an auditory cortex specifically calibrated for prosody, which is the melody of speech. They don't need a dictionary to understand that you are frustrated, sad, or euphoric. When you speak with your dog daily, whether about quantum physics or your shopping list, you are doing 2 things. First, you are adjusting his internal clock to your daily rhythm. The regularity of your voice at certain times of the day gives him an enormous sense of security. Second, you are using the acoustic bridge. In cognitive studies, it has been proven that dogs produce delta waves in the brain when addressed with gentle rhythmic speech, which stands for deep relaxation. They don't care at all if you are complaining about your tax return, as long as the frequency is right. It is a form of acoustic grooming, and let's be honest, where else can you find a listener who never interrupts you, gives no unsolicited advice, and at the end of the story only asks for a cookie instead of a rebuttal? This daily conversation is the social glue of your relationship. You are showing him, you are a full member of my social structure. The fact that you occasionally lose your dignity while discussing the merits of frozen pizza with a golden retriever is a small price to pay for the hormonal release your dog experiences. He learns your individual vocal patterns so precisely that he recognizes from the very first word whether today was a good day or a bad one, before you have even taken off your jacket. 7th, and perhaps the most complex point, is emotional synchronization and the reading of micromimicry. Scientific research into canid cognition has shown that dogs possess so-called mirror neurons, which allow them to mirror the emotional state of their humans almost in real time. If you make sure to consciously use your own body language daily to convey security to your dog, you are doing something revolutionary for your relationship. It's about reading his subtle signs, licking the lips when stressed, a short blink, or the slight lifting of a paw when uncertain. If you react to these minimal signals by, for example, slowing your pace or touching him reassuringly, you signal to your dog that you speak his language. This is the highest form of empathy. Dogs have learned over the course of domestication to read the muscle movements in our faces better than any other animal species on this planet. When you look at him and honestly smile, he recognizes the relaxation in the area around your eyes, and his own cortisol level drops immediately. This daily emotional confirmation is like an invisible bond that grows thicker every day. It is a deep, evolutionary recognition that goes far beyond what we imagine as simple pet love. It is the merging of two completely different species into an unbeatable team. But amidst all this harmony, there is one important warning signal that you must never ignore. Dogs are world champions at hiding pain. This lies in their nature, as a weak animal in the pack represents a danger and could attract enemies. If your dog suddenly stops doing these 7 things, if he withdraws, avoids touch, no longer tilts his head when spoken to, or the otherwise joyful eye contact goes out, then that is not a whim and not a sign of stubbornness. It is often a silent cry for help. A sudden withdrawal from social rituals almost always points to physical pain, chronic stress, or a beginning illness. In such moments, it is our duty as their closest confidants to look closely and seek professional advice. Because the unconditional love they show us daily, through their mere presence and their small gestures, deserves to be reciprocated with the same attention, especially in times of need. Good night to you and your furry roommate.